Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, welcome back. Inside Real Estate, sports, entertainment, politics, all that good stuff. We are back. Hey, we're going to get into our special segment here, local politics segment. We're going to be talking with the folks over at Citizens for a Better Arlington, and I believe we've got Faith Bussey on the line, the president of Faith. Are you with us?
Yes, I am. How are you this morning?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Been looking forward to talking to you about some things. Now, of course, why don't you talk a little bit to the folks about your organization, how it started, and then, you know, one of the claims to fame is, and which I was really happy with that you guys did a great job on, was the fighting the red light cameras, which we got on the ballot and got rid of in Arlington. So that was a huge win. So kind of talk about the inception and the group and kind of some of the things you've been doing.
Sure. Yeah. Citizens for Better Arlington did start during the red light camera fight. So we did the petition drive where we gathered over 11,000 Arlington residents, voter, and put them on the ballot. So, that was how we started. That was probably 2 or 3 years ago at this point. So we kept it open, knowing that there would be other fights like this one coming along, and here we are. Now they have the Rangers Stadium on the ballot, and we decided to bring it back and start fighting this one.
Well, it seems like a common sense thing to fight. I mean, because the stadium, is only 22 years old, and it just, to me, it's just common sense. You're like, what? Really? Why are we even talking about this right now? Because, the thing looks great. Stadium looks great. And look, first of all, let's go back into a little bit of history here. 1991, we approved to build the current Globe Life Park, okay? We paid it off in 01. 3 years later, we approve, another sales tax for the Cowboys Stadium. And that should be paid off earlier than 2028 than what it's scheduled. But then here we go again. 2016. Yep. We're not even through the current lease with the Rangers, and the stadium's only 22 years old. Here's round 3. I mean, are the Arlington citizens, are we just kind of tired of this? And at this point, does it make any sense? I mean, look, we love our football, we love our Rangers, we love our baseball. We want these teams here in the Arlington area for sure, but it's not even really a discussion about keeping the Rangers, I don't think, because I don't think there was anything solid for them to really leave Arlington.
Well, they honestly believe that the Rangers will leave on November 9th if they don't get the $500 million. But no, it doesn't make any sense. Nobody built a house and then 22 years later decides, you know what, I think I'm going to tear it down and build a newer, smaller one. And the Cowboys, they're going to be paid off early, but that's because our sales tax revenue is growing in other areas of the city. It has nothing to do with the economic development that they promised around the stadiums. So I don't know why we're having this discussion now. They do have 8 years left on their lease. And according to state law, it's in the statute, they have to play every single home game in that stadium until their lease expires 8 years from now. And so, their whole campaign is keep the Rangers. And so they're making it sound like if we don't give them this deal, we're not going to have another chance to get them back. But no, I haven't heard of any credible threat from any other city. We asked our mayor, have the Rangers come out and said that they're going to leave if they don't get what they want? And he said no, they haven't said that. So I don't see that there's a need for a rush. I don't see that there's a need to give them everything that they're asking for. Yeah, I think Arlington voters are tired of this. So, I mean, we do love our Rangers. We have proven that we're a baseball town. We've invested millions and millions of dollars to prove this.
Right.
And I don't think that $500 million is it's a ridiculous amount of money to ask for. We only paid $325 million for our portion of the Cowboy Stadium. So, and that was with the return on investment promise of $238 million a year. And the Rangers are only promising us $77 million a year So that's like almost a quarter, I think. Not really great at math, but I think that's a quarter less than what we were getting with the Cowboys.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But I think you're right. I mean, I don't think there is really any credible threat to any neighboring town stealing the Rangers. Look, they're not going to go to Fort Worth. They're not going to go out to Frisco where the Rough Riders are. I mean, honestly, I always thought Frisco was maybe more of a better shot than Dallas, but with the Rough Riders being there, unless they're going somewhere else, I don't see it. Dallas has kind of lurked around and thought about it, but, Dallas can't even take care of Fair Park.
Right.
They can't even take care of, the amphitheater over there. So Dallas has got its own issues. I don't see Dallas coming to the table with the type of package that would make the Rangers move anytime in the near future. Now, maybe in 20, 30, 40 years from now, who knows? Who knows that far away?
Right, but at that point, we need to be bidding against other people. At this point, we're bidding against ourselves.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. I just think this is poor negotiation on the part of the city. For Mayor Jeff Williams, who maybe is trying to solidify something for his legacy, he's just flat out coming out and saying, well, let's just give them a new stadium before they even want one. 22-year-old stadium, well, let's just give them a new one anyway. Now, of course, if you're the Rangers, you're like, hey, great. We'd love to have a retractable roof stadium. Maybe it'll get us some more folks in seats. But at the end of the day, if you win games, that's what puts people in seats.
Absolutely.
Look at the stadium, in Tampa Bay. They've got empty seats all the time. I mean, look around.
Or in Arizona, the Diamondbacks.
Exactly. Look around the MLB altogether, and they've got these huge retractable roof stadiums or just domed stadiums, indoor stadiums, and have very limited sales. And so it didn't change anything for any of those organizations. Why would it change anything here unless we are constantly winning?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the mayor just actually sent out a fundraising letter this last week in which he states that the city was the one that went to the Rangers first. And because, they wanted to keep them here. But there was no reason for us to do that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we want to keep the Rangers, in Arlington. That's not really a question of that. But having a discussion about a new stadium when this one's only 22 years old is just, it goes against everything that common sense tells you is right. And especially when there's no legitimate contender at yanking the Rangers away. We're, like you say, competing against ourselves for no reason. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Additionally, there's an investigative report that was out by WFAA TV Channel 8's Bulldog Brett Shipp recently, and talked about that Arlington taxpayers are probably going to look at, instead of sharing the deal at 50%, it's probably going to be more like 80% because of, some clauses that are well hidden in the contract, but are honestly actually in basically the same verbiage in the Cowboys contract, which allows taxes on tickets and parking. And those tax revenues actually go to the team versus to the city. So it should go to the city to pay down the city debt, but instead it goes to the debt of the actual team. Now, this is a ship that has sailed for the Cowboys deal, but this same verbiage is somewhat hidden in this proposed contract, although Brett Shipp brought this out. What did you think about that?
Oh, it's perfect because, their whole campaign is that there's no new taxes, when in fact the proposition itself is 5 taxes in one proposition. 3 of them are supposedly a continuation, but 2 of them are brand new. And, those are the ones that are going to help the Rangers pay down their portion. And the other thing that you got to look at with this financially is that sorry, my mind went blank. Basically, they are not paying property taxes. They are leasing the building from the city for $2 million a year. So they get to skip out on paying all property taxes for a building that's worth, $200 million thereabouts. So anywhere from $16 to $28 million a year that could be going to our schools, our city, infrastructure, all that. They get to keep all of it because they're leasing it from us. And the city is going to be giving them the current ballpark for free to do whatever they want with it, even though we pay for it.
Right.
So they're going to be able to turn it into a parking lot if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, there was initially talks about just, knocking the thing down, blowing it up. After all the sort of uproar, they've kind of reconsidered that. Well, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll keep some of it or part of it. And they've been talking about the Texas Live and all the entertainment district around that. But that was something that Hicks talked about way back in the days about the entertainment district around the ballpark, which didn't happen because of the 08 crash, and then Hicks is out of it, went bankrupt. But so who knows if that's going to happen or not? But you're right, the economic impact that was supposed to occur in Arlington, have we really felt that to where
happen.
are we feeling it in the city services or the local byways and highways in better conditions? Are we seeing it in the schools? No, we're not seeing any of that at all. Look, we all want the Rangers. We all want the Cowboys in Arlington. That's not a question. But this new stadium, we need to go back to the drawing board on this, especially when the Rangers weren't even legitimately saying, hey, city, we've got this offer on the table. What do you got for us? That wasn't even how this started.
Nope. And we're about $400 million behind in road repair here. So, no, the economic development that they promised absolutely never happened. And we've looked at the sales tax receipts, and they've talked about how great the arts and entertainment portion of our sales tax has been, when really it makes up less than 10% of our total sales tax revenue. And that includes all the stadiums and all the arts and entertainment, Six Flags, Hurricane Harbor, any other arts and entertainment venue in Arlington. It's not the economic boom that they promised. Yeah. And so with all these broken promises we have behind us, why are we talking about, well, we might turn it into condos and we might make it an amphitheater, which seems silly. But, they will make more money turning it into a parking lot than they will anything else.
Right.
So, and if it's not about the bottom line, if it's not about the dollar, why are we doing this? So. Yeah,
it's a great point. And I just hope that the, City of Arlington residents, pay attention to it, because there's the Vote Yes campaign, which Mayor Williams is in the lead on. And so there's Vote Yes signs all over the area. And, I hope people don't get confused about it, because, we all want to keep the Rangers. We want the Rangers around. But, unfortunately, there's more uneducated voters than there are educated voters out there. So they may think we're actually in jeopardy of losing the Rangers, which we really are not. And this is really about a new stadium, not about losing the Rangers. So, I would encourage people to study the issue and feel free to vote no on it, because it's not like the Rangers are going anywhere. And, tell the mayor, emphatically on Election Day that, what, hey, 22-year-old stadium is just fine, and let's go back to the drawing board on this. And we want to keep the Rangers, but we'll talk about this when the stadium is maybe 50 years old, 60 years old at least. I mean, has this discussion even ever happened? That's what I want to know. We need to get a sports columnist in here, because I want to know, has this discussion even ever happened in any other city in USA where a stadium has been that old and they've just built it and they're looking for a new one? Sam? I mean,
no,
do you even recall anything like that?
I will do some research.
Yeah, we need a sports columnist in here to tell us about that, because I don't think so. Well, any parting words, Faith, and also talk about the website and maybe how people can help spread the word and help you with your organization and the other things that you guys do?
Absolutely, yeah. Our campaign is actually called Save Our Stadium, and anybody can go to citizensforabetterarlington.com and click on our Want to Help button and fill that. We've got yard signs. If people want yard signs, we'll need donations, because we're obviously up against all the money in Arlington. So that would be the two biggest ways that people can help, is just get visibility out there, talk to your friends. Get out the vote is probably the biggest part of any campaign. And so if you have friends and neighbors who are against this deal, get them to the polls on November 8th.
Absolutely. So. And what is the website again?
www.citizensforbetterarlington.com.
Okay. Citizensforbetterarlington.com. Very good. Well, thank you, Faith. This has been Faith Bussey, Bussey, the president of Citizens for Better Arlington. Thank you so much for coming on. Talk to us about the stadium.
Me.
Thank you. Have a good morning.
Appreciate it. You too.
Bye. Folks, just talking with Faith Bussey, Citizens for Better Arlington, about the stadium. And, by the way, there was another article in the paper that just came out the other day. And this is a couple in Arlington, and they pick certain fights to fight the city on. And there's a big article about them that they're saying the same thing. This is just totally against common sense with this stadium. And so they're passing out flyers door to door, and they're just flat out, their names are actually in the paper. Peggy Rudd and her husband, Bill Gout, and citizens of Arlington, and they're out there going door to door, passing out flyers, talking about the stadium. And so, think about it, folks. We're not losing the Rangers, so I don't know. We'll see. Richard, what do you think? You're an Arlington resident.
I think I
put you on the spot there.
Just a little bit, but honestly,
come on, give me a politically correct answer.
And that's usually the way I try to approach things. But I mean, when my wife and I were talking about it, I was sitting there basically saying what they're saying, and what you're saying also is it makes no sense.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be able to get out of my lease or anything else, or you know what? I think I'd like a roof on my house now. But at the same time, I'll tell you that during the summer, I might go to a game in the spring, and I may go to one in the fall. But I am not going to one in the summer.
Never going to one in the summer.
No. I mean, it's too hot.
Yeah.
And especially with kids, I don't blame them. I mean, honestly, I do not blame them for looking at the options of adding that roof simply because of that. Because as having two young kids, it's not an option.
I agree, but let's talk about it in 50 years when the stadium's maybe 70 or 80 years old.
Yeah. Is there an option to add a roof to what's already the existing structure?
I don't think there is.
And is a retractable roof going to improve business for the Denny's down Six Flags Drive? Is it really helping anybody?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it more for sure in the weeks to come. Folks, Inside Real Estate, Sports, Entertainment, Politics, we're back here next Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. right here.